Hello, I'd like to thank you for joining me and Chelsea here tonight. And we are so excited with this edition of My People because I have Chelsea, my peeps. My name is Danielle Low from I Am Eve Events, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my guest tonight. And I haven't even officially planned out because that has something to do with who she is. And she was born and raised in Lethbridge, so is a homegrown gal that we love to claim. And Lethbridge, Alberta, and received her certification in office administration from our LCC. And she had a rewarding career as a real estate assistant at a top producing team. But then she decided that she would follow her knack for administration, organization, and attention to detail. Hence, even this has attention to detail. She's good.
Thank you.
Okay, and she used that creativity and that fun-loving personality to create A-List Assist. And she offers her experience, her willingness to help to others, her vast knowledge of admin to anyone here in Lethbridge who needs that. And she and her team at A-List Assist want to help grow your business, have financial success. Yes.
Yeah, don't we all, right?
Who doesn't? And set goals, setting goals. We're going to talk about all these things tonight. You are going to be in for a treat. Because I feel like even this show has gotten better just in our working together.
Yeah, that relationship, right?
Yeah, and just it passes through like that. It comes through. So today, she's here on My People, and I think you're really going to fall in love with all the beautiful things she offers to you tonight. So,
thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, that was a beautiful introduction.
Yes, and I'd like to thank Jess FM for hosting this show and for having us here tonight. And you can check us out on the YouTube channel or right on Facebook Live. And you can also check us out on jessfm.com. Awesome. So many ways. So let's get started with Chelsea. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Well, I am a business support specialist. I have a passion for helping local small business owners, mostly owner-operators, in building systems and structure within their business to help them succeed. So I love
Just 1 second.
Yeah, okay.
That was
Slow down.
No, that was a beautiful phrase. I just, in my own mind, I'm thinking, those words were so beautiful and technical.
It took me a long time to get there. It started as this is what I do, but now it's come down to my why, really, why I do what I do. So, yeah, that took a little bit of practice and patience to figure out. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I love it. And so then just tell us about you personally. What are some of your likes?
My likes, so I am a mother and a wife. I have 2 girls. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old daughter, both born and raised in Lethbridge. Yeah, and so my
Keeping it local.
Yeah. We have never left. It hasn't even ever crossed our mind, really. I think this is an amazing community, and I love the people in it, and I just love Lethbridge. So I'm very grateful and thankful to be part of this community, and so I am raising my children here. My girls are definitely the reason I do what I do. Yeah. My girls are the reason I want to still help people, but be very involved in raising them in this community. So that has been a big passion of mine. And I have been married for 16 years. So yeah, I was married young. Yeah. I've made it this far, so this is great, right? Yeah, and I mean, you have your ups and downs in marriages, and we know this. So that's been a personal journey for us as well. So yeah, and it just seems to get better and better as we get older and older. So yeah,
good. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm only a rookie of 14 years myself. So I look forward to gleaning all the knowledge.
That would be another show entirely, wouldn't it?
Amen.
Yeah.
With that, and I think we should just throw this out now. This is Gwyneth Paltrow's doppelganger right here in Lethbridge.
Yeah, we've got photos over here. Google her. Take my screenshot here and.
That's right. You just never know who's coming on my people.
Yeah.
Her alias, Chelsea.
I love it.
No, I'm so excited to have your just organized and welcoming and fun-loving personality. I actually met Chelsea because she applied to a free contest to win tickets to my women's conference. And actually, Jess FM sponsored your ticket to come.
Woo! Thank you for that.
And it was such a pleasure to meet her. I really just enjoyed meeting you and seeing you at the gym. And I thought, I need to ask this girl if she's come on my show. So I'm really excited to have you here. And one of the themes that came out so huge was your love for people and just how you wanted to help everyone. So what's an example of where you have truly helped another person?
I have a good example. When I first started this venture over 6 years ago, I had a client contact me out of Calgary that was in the growth stage of his business. And he was really doing well as far as establishing the business, getting the clients and doing the work. What he wasn't really able to grasp was running the business, specifically the financial end.
Always tricky.
Yeah.
For many
he
people.
was really struggling with paying the government. I mean, we won't mention names.
Right.
Yeah, like so many owner-operators do, right? Like a lot of people, when they start a business, they come from a technician point of view, or they come from knowing how to do something so well, but don't realize that you're no longer an employee and you're not getting a paycheck anymore. You now have obligations like the government, GST, paying the expenses of a business. And so he just wasn't systemized in that. So he called me out, and I came and I met with him, and we created a plan on systemizing his finances so that he could understand what he needed to pay, what he needed to expense. And then we set up a system so that he could, every time he got paid from a client, could put some money away or aside to make sure that the money was there for the government. And then eventually he was able to catch up and have some financial success once he kind of seen where that needed to be and happen and stuff like that. So that was one of my very big first success stories, was just seeing how grateful he was after working with him, that there were people out there that could guide you and put you in the right direction and stuff like that. And then I work with people. So he had this client had an accountant out of Ontario, actually, and he was out of Calgary. So I just feel like it's very important that you work with people locally.
Yes.
I think you need to sit down with people and have that one-on-one still. And so, just sending all of your stuff up at the end of the year to an accountant and having him file your income tax is really no benefit to you. You need to be educated in every aspect of the business. And so, we really worked on developing a relationship with somebody local, and so now he's able to meet with them on a very regular basis to review his income statements or his balance sheets, or to understand his month-to-month finances.
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry.
No problem.
So you even, pass the work on?
A good chunk of it.
Yeah.
Yes, because I am a huge believer in networking and building organic and authentic relationships. So I feel it is so important to have somebody who loves your business as much as you love your business. I personally do not enjoy bookkeeping or any of that, but I know some amazing people who do, and so I'm always happy to say to a client, I don't want to do your books for you, but here's somebody who loves books. Let's get you working with her or him or whoever, right?
Yeah.
So so I take on the things I love. That's how we should be in business, right? And then we'll just delegate or outsource the things we don't, or refer them. So
Okay, I love that. And I love that, like you said, creating that community around that person to really help them be successful. I call it the love-hate of owning your own business. There's so much freedom and so much heartbreak.
Oh, totally. And I think what we kind of forget is that we can't be everything in our business. Like we're not the master of everything. We need to stop pretending we're the master of everything. If you don't enjoy something in your business, or you really don't understand, don't pretend. Don't pretend, because you're going to get yourself in a hole. So I would say get yourself a team. And by having a team, that doesn't mean you have to employ people. A mentor is a team. Having a mentor, watching YouTube, or tutorials, that's a team, because you're doing it on your own, right?
Sometimes even a good author can be part of a team.
Yeah, exactly, right? So whatever you do to help you build that foundation to success is your team. And so just find a team. And
it's so true.
Find the right people.
Because even with I Am Eve, I've just learned having a team, having people working in their strengths, their passions, their loves, you just see that like in all the details. And doing the first one felt like a little bit failing forward.
Because you don't know, it's learning,
right? Is. And on to number 2, I feel like I have way better teams and systems set up to help that. Although after this interview, I feel like I might need a list of And I like what you said, that you don't always have to pay with money.
Nope.
There's sometimes, you can, back in the day I used to pay with like babysitting.
Yep. Exchanges, right?
Right? The barter system can still be alive and well.
Yep. And you know what? You probably at some point have somebody in your network that you can ask questions that can point you in the right direction. And then if you have the knowledge yourself, you can really Google stuff from there, right? Like, as long as you have the understanding or the basics, you can kind of do some self-help stuff yourself until you have a budget, or until you're comfortable relinquishing some control, or until you just really are in that huge growth phase where you're just like, I gotta have a team. Like, it just happens, right? So, yeah.
Where you need that. And I like being proactive in that and in setting it up.
Planning, yep.
Yes. So, why is it so hard for us to ask for help or to admit that we need these groups of specialized people?
Yes. I would say there are definitely some limiting beliefs that we have. I think a lot of our beliefs are, if we don't know how to do it, we're a failure. Like, if you're a business owner, you probably feel like, well, I should just know how to run a business. Like, it's my business. But our business is to know our product or service. Our business is to educate our clients and help our clients with what we can do best. And so I think we really find it hard to say, you know what, I really don't know how to do that. The other thing is stigma. Stigma, right? Like, there are, I know it's a sad word, isn't it? The stigma behind asking for help. Like, why would you ask for help? You should know that, right? Or, oh my goodness, did you see that? Like, she's for example, with me, like, I don't know everything about business, but I coach about business. So it's like that stigma of, well, how can you're a coach? Why would you need help? Why are you asking for help? Well, because that's how I learn. I need to ask the questions so that I can pass this knowledge on to my clients. So I think stigma plays a huge role in it. And I also think control. We just don't want to give up control, right? Like, we, again, have this, like, nobody can do it as good as me. Or, what if I hire somebody and they quit in a week and they take all my knowledge? Oh boy, what if they start a business just like mine? And, well, what if they do? What if they do? You could take credit for that. You could be like, you know what? I helped you build that. So there's just, I think, a lot of things behind why we don't do it.
Well, and one of the things I heard when you were talking is mindset. Right? Like, if you're in that scarcity mindset that there's not enough, but I think that there's the opposite of that would be that there is enough. You can take credit for them looking at your idea and saying, that was wonderful, I want to replicate it. And
that's been a huge struggle for me, actually, that sparsity mindset was one of my limiting beliefs for a long time. And, through some personal therapy or through some coaching, working with business coaches and stuff, and having them say the things I just said resonate, right? Like, having somebody else that's successful telling you that these are the things that you can think or act or know is huge help, because you see them in action. So, I have definitely been in those patterns of destructive thought behaviors that I work really hard at trying to pull myself out of on a daily basis. So you're not alone.
Right?
We all have this, no matter if we're a mom or a dad or, a CEO or, anybody. We are going to have struggles, and it's just what we do with them and how we challenge ourselves to get past it is key, right? So. And
how we live in this global world. I always tell my girls and myself and my husband, there's always going to be someone prettier, smarter, like any E-R-S-D word. When you're competing with the world, it is. And if you can learn to celebrate them, often they're willing to
learn
share.
something
Yeah.
from them. Watch them.
They're willing
their
to
mannerisms.
teach. Yeah, they're willing to teach, and most really, really successful people, and I'm sure there's exceptions because there is to every rule, but I find most really successful people are willing to give back.
Yep.
Because
absolutely.
they've received it somewhere else down the line.
Yep.
And I think as we're becoming more transparent, more vulnerable, I think we're seeing that more, and it's more of a conversation, and like grit and perseverance is being taught in
Yes.
schools now. And
Yes, we're actually now starting to see in some other countries around the world that we're adopting mindfulness in the classroom, compassion, empathy. We're teaching our children to embrace equality differently than we may have in the past, where it was all so education based. And
Yeah.
so we are seeing some real good shifts in how we're dealing with life, really, because it changes, so we have to be adaptable, right? So, yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, this is a quote I found, and I loved it because it says, "Be strong enough to stand alone." That takes courage. Smart enough to know when you need help, and brave enough to ask for it. And one of the things, if you need help, I am here with my special guest, Chelsea from A-List Assist, and you can check her out on her website, alistassist.ca.
Yep, alistassist.ca. Yep.
A-List Assist. It's kind of fun
Yep.
to say that alliteration. A-List Assist. I was going to get really tricky and just say a whole bunch of A adjectives, but I didn't.
It is
I need
really
to be
a
organized.
business name. I chose it because I felt like I wanted to work with the A-list. I wanted to work with successful people that are working their way up a corporate ladder or working their way up to owning and dominating a business world. So I picked A-list because I felt like you are the people I want, the ones that want to be the A-list. So I've thought about changing it a lot, but it's going to stick now.
Well, and it's just so fun. A-List Assist.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it?
It's on so many levels. So if you're just joining me, thank you for coming and tuning in to Jess FM. Well, I just kind of said that. I'm Danielle Low with I Am Eve, and here's Chelsea from A-List Assist. And I'm excited about this next part because it says, "No one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of others." Charles Dickens, thank you for writing that. Because it's true. If you want to feel useful and helping, if you get out beyond yourself, it's like the best place to start. Now, we are going to, did I just skip? I'm sorry. See, this is why I don't do too organized. Sorry. Okay. What's a goal that you've set that you had to have crazy obstacles to overcome?
Are you thinking like personally?
Yeah, let's go personal.
Okay.
I love getting personal.
So some of my personal goals have been, well, for sure the work-life balance. So trying to be able to give my all to my husband and my children, but also being able to give my all to my clients and my passion to serve others. So that has been kind of a personal obstacle of trying to manage myself, my time, my feelings, right? To be able to service the people that I care the most about. And the other biggest challenge that I have...
Before we go into second challenge, because I really liked what you said here. So just like tell me what's like a morning look like?
A morning.
Or do you have a routine?
I do.
Okay.
I'm a big
you
believer.
would.
I'm a big believer in. So for me personally, I need a good 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
Yes.
I do not function well. I actually break down emotionally the minute that I don't have I mean, it's horrible, isn't it? So it's really tricky for me because I often go to bed at 9 o'clock at night and I wake up at 7 a.m. because I need that rest.
Yeah.
So I don't have a whole lot of time in the day to do everything, right? To be a mom and a wife and to keep a home and all these things that I are important to my life. So yes, my routine in the morning, my very first priority. And it changes. So right now I'm really working on trying to get up a little bit earlier and get an hour or two of work done, not disrupted. because
that
studies say,
is huge.
yeah, and so I'm going to try it. I don't know that I need to follow a pattern of somebody else's beliefs and stuff like that. I just know that I need to work what works for me, but I definitely get my kids ready. I don't want my children to feel chaotic in the morning. I don't want them to start their day rushed around and half the lunch and, you know, you're going to miss the bus. So I get them up and I let them have some quiet time. We have breakfast. We kind of talk about the day. My oldest daughter needs a plan, worse than me. She needs to know when she goes to bed what's happening in the morning, and then she needs a whole plan for her day. So we talk about that, and then, we take our time, we get them off to school, and then that's when I get to work. That's when the grind starts for me. So, and I have a calendar and a day planner, and I just work through my schedule. So it means if I have to schedule a shower in, I have to schedule I know it sounds crazy. Most people that's the first thing they do in the morning, but if I at 10 o'clock have to schedule a shower in, then that's on my calendar. So
I think that's wonderful.
I have to be able to maximize my time and get the most out of my day. I have to plan it and work through my calendar.
How rigid are you with that calendar?
Here's the other, so this kind of leads into my second obstacle.
Perfect.
Really have a hard time with change. I can't adapt really well to when things aren't going as planned, which would be a personality trait. So for me,
you can't have it all. I tried you if you were uber organized and ultra adaptable.
Yeah, could you imagine?
That's right.
It would just make us
Thank
perfect.
you for being
I feel
here.
like that's Rachel Hollis. That's who that is. Okay?
No, she'll even tell you. She hires out a ton. And
we'll talk about that in this because
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if something in my schedule is off, if a client calls with an emergency or something, I just know that I have to prioritize. So that just means that, what, maybe I'll have to throw my hair in a hat and I didn't get my shower, but I service my clients or service my children or I service my husband. Because oftentimes my husband will text me in the morning and be like, hey, I forgot to do this. Can you bring it to me to work? Or, hey, I forgot to film this person, or can you book me a doctor's appointment? And I know that's a simple thing, picking up the phone and being like, oh, it's only going to take 10 minutes, but it derails my day. It really does, because it just wasn't part of my schedule, right? So I have to adapt to those things, and I work through them the best I can, but I am very as rigid as I can be with my schedule and trying to stay on track.
Or even not just rigid, but your boundaries.
Yeah.
If that's what you've told yourself you're going to do it.
Yeah. Now, I set those expectations for myself, so.
Yeah. I say that, and I set them, but, my boundaries are too fluid. The good part of that is I'm great with change.
See? That's why we get along so well.
Yes.
It's that balance, right?
I need to check out A-List Assist. Okay. I love this quote from John Bunyan, and he said that you have not lived until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. Right?
Right. It's true.
If I just ask you, what is one of those things that you feel like is you've done something for someone who will never repay you?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know. Kids is an obvious one.
Yeah. I was just going to reference that, but I'm like, that I can't always put my children first. So I'm like, I can't let that be like my guiding.
Yes.
Well, and that's a tough one.
It totally is. I don't know what I'd answer.
I feel like I hope that the content I share touches people in a way that maybe helps propel them into a new life decision, or like anything I do would kind of be unintentional in that way, because I would never ever have that mindset of I want to help you, so that I just wouldn't think of things that way, right? So I would want things to resonate with my clients or my family or my friends in a way that is unintentional. So I would really never know if I've impacted them in that way or not, because they've never had to repay me or, reached out and people thank you all the time. But yeah, that's a really tricky one. I like it. It's a good challenge. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more.
Well, and I have to say, too, you are so articulate.
Oh, thank you.
I am. Yeah, this is all live. You can go either way. And
it's my passion. Like they say, when you are so passionate about something, you can talk about it so freely, right? So.
And that's kind of what My People is about. We want people that are passionate and who are willing to share their passion, share their love, share their talents in whatever way they want to. And so I want you to tell us about a time you were able to assist others in setting goals.
Yes. So this one, a I feel like I'm constantly helping people set goals, and I don't think they realize it. So a lot of what I do in business, kind of the very first step, is to really figure out people's pain points. So in business, mostly pain points. Yeah, and I mean, if you know, again, this has been a really big journey for me as far as business development, and it's taken me a good 6 years to even nail down what a pain point is.
Okay. But I'm going to say, tell us what a pain point is.
Yeah, a pain point would be what is their distress in business. And
I know what
when you're in business, yeah, right?
Like, it's the part that makes you cringe.
Yeah. And a lot of the times you don't even know you have it until you start talking
Oh.
about it, right? Until you start working your way through your struggle, and you're like, oh, that's what the problem is. So that's where we start. And so I kind of just naturally set goals with them to get past those pain points. So I kind of coach. I guess our end outcome would always be to reach that goal, which in most businesses is financial success, is growth, is maybe even setting up for retirement, right? Like, you know, maybe somebody is now, you know, in their late 40s and is done with their career and is now just looking for a way of you know, having some kind of slush fund for retirement. And so we kind of,
I like it.
Slush fund, right?
I've never heard that, but
Is that not like common?
I just like, is
Slush
it like
fund.
for Slurpees?
Yeah, your slush fund, you know, so you can
Play, enjoy.
get high off sugar. I don't know.
Who doesn't love it?
Yeah, the slush fund.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I came into you, how would you discover my pain point?
It is through talk therapy, I would say. Really just talking about where you want to go and how you plan on getting there and what your biggest obstacles are. So I feel like we would just naturally talk about it.
And it would come out
Yeah, you know,
pretty
sometimes when you
organically.
do therapy, or when you know, do a coach, or you sit and you get your nails done and you're telling, you know, your nail technician your world, you know, and then she has something to say, she's technically helping you achieve an outcome or a goal, right? So it kind of comes down to, or think therapy. I call it think therapy as well. Talk therapy kind of makes me think of like, yeah, you're shrink, and I'm definitely not a shrink. So, yeah, I would say it's more like think therapy, or we brainstorm. So,
Well, and I'll throw this in. I did a listening course. It was 6 weeks, and we learned different skills of listening. And in 2 minutes, you had to talk for 2 minutes, and someone just sincerely heard you. And then the other ladies wrote down what they observed. But in 2 minutes, there was so much therapy done. We have these answers inside of us. We just don't stop long enough
yep.
to throw
And we
them out
have
there.
those limiting beliefs again. So we have this natural sensor to shut off any ideas we have that could help us reach our goal, because we might think we're not good enough, we're not strong enough, we're not smart enough. You know, you're not educated in that. Why would you even try to reach that goal? Well, just because you're not educated now doesn't mean you're not going to be educated in 2 years when you try to figure it all out, right? So
You're just a Lethbridge little city.
yeah.
No way, people.
We're not progressive, and we're behind on the times. I feel like we are a little bit, but we'll get there.
But that's okay.
We'll get there.
We own where we're at.
Yeah.
And embrace all the joy. If you're just joining us, my name is Danielle Low of I Am Eve Events, and I'm here with Chelsea from A-List Assist, and you can check her out on her website at alistassist.ca. And you can rewatch our show on Jess FM on YouTube, or
I'm on Facebook.
Facebook too.
Facebook me.
Are you
LinkedIn? I'm a big LinkedIner. If you're on LinkedIn, look me up.
I am so bad at LinkedIn.
I love LinkedIn.
See?
Yeah.
I found a pain point. Just in talking with her. That's how good she is.
Thank you.
Okay, so, you did this one blog post. I read your blog, and I really liked these tales of a working mom.
Yes.
Oh.
So that is actually not my blog post. That is a reshare. So that
perfect.
was the third post I had ever done on my blog.
Okay.
And when you start a business, it's really hard to create content, mostly because you're coming from that technician point again. So it's really, really hard to create content that's engaging around, you know, selling a car or making soup or whatever you're really good at, right? So that blog post that I did back in September of 2014 called The Tales of a Working Mom, that was written by Charlene Smith, and it was actually her experience going from corporate kind of executive, she was a recruiter, to trying to work from home. And I know you're welcome to touch on it. And it talks a little bit about this idea that she had that it would just be awesome to work from home, and she'd have all this flexibility and all these amazing things. She used the words relief, job security, and gratitude. That's how she felt about having this opportunity to work from home. And I can relate, because I had this awesome, job relief. Like I just knew I could have the best of both worlds. But she found out really quickly, like most of us, I can relate to this as well, that it was overwhelming. She was distracted and disengaged. So she
You do
talks
think
about,
that you go in with the belief it's going to be the best of
because
both
we
worlds.
watch TV, like
Hollywood,
right. Like you watch it in the movies. If it happened in the movies,
That's
it's got to
right.
happen to us. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes it's not even in the movies. It's real life,
Yep.
but we're not seeing the whole
Social
picture.
media. Like they alter everything in social media right now. So when you see this mom who's gorgeous with her hair and makeup done, with the baby on her hip who's perfectly primed, and then she's so fit. Dude, she has a cook at home that cooks her meals. She has a housekeeper. She probably has a nanny, and she has somebody in her house doing her hair and makeup. Like Rachel Hollis again. Okay, well we'll get to her too, but she, right? So in this blog here, it really talked about how quickly this idea or this passion to work from home with her children turned into this fearful thing that she has created this monster, and what is she going to do? And so she stepped out, 4 things that she wanted to enlighten people on before they even thought about working from home with children. And her very first thing was to hire help.
Right.
And Rachel Hollis talks about this in Girls Stop Apologizing. I just finished that book. She talks
Great
about
book, eh?
It's a great book. I liked it way better than Girl Wash Your Face. It was more in the business.
Me too.
She's a little more open on this one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And she talks about that in her book. She talks about the first thing she did when she knew she needed to scale and grow, and how she was going to make it all happen was she asked for help. She asked her mom, whoever she needed to do or whoever she needed to ask to help. And it goes back to that you don't have to hire somebody. Like, ask your mom, ask your sister-in-law, ask your brother, ask whoever you can that can help in any way. If that's, ask your mom to prepare a month's meals for you so you can throw them in the freezer. Like, most moms would love that, right? So, and she really talks about that. And then she also really talks about...
Well, and with that said, too, and they can say no, and that's okay.
Yep.
That just means those are not your people.
Yep.
It's just another opportunity to either meet a new person or find a new connection, or it's okay.
Or build a business. Build a business around,
you
creating meals for stay-at-home parents or whatever, right? So the other thing she mentioned too is get up and get ready for work every day. And again, Rachel Hollis talks a lot about this. She's a big believer in making your bed, which I think is the first thing you should do when you roll out of it. Yeah. She also really talks about setting your intention for the day. So get up and get ready like you're going to conquer the world. I don't care if you're sitting at home watching soap operas or if you are, going to go to the gym. Please don't show up to your children's school in your pajamas. She touches a little bit about it, I think, on that as well. So, but get up and set your day as though you are going to succeed. So, and she mentions that in this blog. She also mentions the feeling of being alone. She did not like the isolation.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that. I came from an office where I had camaraderie. I made a lot of friends, and I missed that so much in the beginning. You just are so busy running a household and running a business that come 8 o'clock at night, you're not wanting to go out with your girlfriends, you're wanting to go to bed. And I go to bed at 9, so it kind of sucks trying to throw in a social life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
but definitely taking time to make that social life happen.
Yep.
And however it looks, and maybe sometimes it's play dates with kids or... but if you're working from home too, it's trickier. Or, getting a sitter and going for a lunch date where it's still kind of not taking from your business time or your home time, but it is important to schedule that in. If not, by the time the pain point hits, it's a huge pain point.
And we can't, the big thing is too, we can't take this time back. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to think, every year we're doing this, we're aging. And every year that we age, we lose that youthfulness or that, I mean, not to say that you can't be 60 and be like out there partying and having a great time and stuff like that, but we do lose that time where things just change, right? So and one of the things she also talks a little bit about in this blog is to learn to turn it off, and I struggled with that. I was on service mode 24/7. I was, if a client emailed me at 10 o'clock at night, I felt like I needed to get that done right away. I'm not a procrastinator. I want stuff off my plate, and so I was just jumping at every opportunity to service these people, and it was doing me disjustice. Like it was really not helping me, my family, or anybody else. So turn it off. Work your 10 to 3 or your 9 to 5 or whatever it is you've set in your calendar or your schedule for your work time, right? And then hold yourself to it.
And keep those good boundaries around it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. And she talks about things like office space, like don't work from your kitchen table. I work from my kitchen table. It's where I'm most productive. I have a lot of plants upstairs and I have nothing downstairs, so I thrive off like that growing, I don't know.
The energy and the oxygen that's coming into your room.
Right? So
here's the thing, when anyone, and even in this show, when you hear ideas that resonate with you, good. And let's say you try it and it falls apart, great. You've learned that's not your idea.
The only way you're going to be able to do this and do it properly is if you try something and get uncomfortable, right? So if you get a little uncomfortable in a space, you're getting like, if it just doesn't work, you're not comfortable, find another way to make that happen, right? So, and I mean, I this last year I moved into an office in the Idea building. It's a network building, and it's been great for me. I've gotten the opportunity now to socialize and stuff like that, but I kind of long my home setting as well because I'm more productive at home than I am in an office setting because I'm social. So I just want to talk and tell everybody everything, and I'm just not getting stuff done. So it was a challenge with my schedule and my calendar when I want to socialize. So, yeah, well, a balance again, right?
And kind of a fluid balance too. That's always
you
emerging and really getting in there. Okay, so Joe Vitale said a goal should scare you a little, but excite you a lot.
Yep.
So what is one of your goals that scares you a little and excites you a lot?
Oh my goodness, every goal I set. Because again, I don't like change. So anytime I set a new goal, it involves change. So it scares me because a change as little as taking an unplanned vacation for me throws me into like fury. Like it just, I know it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I shared something on Facebook not that long ago. We had an impromptu trip to Coeur d'Alene. We had an opportunity to go with my family, but it was very unsettling for me because I hadn't planned it. I hadn't managed it in my schedule, and so
all of a sudden
I had clients, and what were my clients going to think, and how was this going to work? And I didn't have it budgeted in my budget and stuff like this, and I had to finally convince myself I have to do this. This is healthy. We need this. My children need adventure. So it ended up being that it was okay, and I did it, and I just brought my stuff with me, and I just delegated an hour to a day to follow up with that stuff, and it worked out really great. But something so small like that, where people would embrace that, I found it very difficult. And so it scares me to set goals, but it excites me because I know it's leveraging me in a better place. It's getting me further to another outcome or another goal that I'm trying to achieve. And usually it allows me to help people even more. So,
right?
Yeah, right?
That's true.
So most of my goals are around learning. Most of my goals are around learning something new, which means I get to offer something new or supply something new or teach something new. But first I have to learn it, and that's scary, right? Because I'm not an expert in it yet, but I'll get there. So those things are scary for me because I don't want to, give the wrong advice or the wrong, information without having some kind of backing to it. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what new things are you learning?
I am learning all kinds of stuff right now. I'm so excited. So I am currently in the stages of learning, getting my productivity coaching certification, along with my
Just tell us quick what a productivity coach is.
I'm going to define them if this is okay, because I want the information correct, right? So, so I'm working towards obtaining some coaching right now, certification in coaching. I want to be certified in life coaching, executive coaching, and productivity coaching.
Okay.
So I'm just going to start with what productivity coaching is. And a productivity coach is defined as a professional who evaluates your work patterns and helps you set new systems and structure, which helps you better manage your time so that you're most productive in life and business. So it would be kind of what I do now, and I've done for the longest time. I just felt like I needed a certification. I don't know, it's that education thing, right? So I help people by building systems and structure and reviewing what's working for them now and what isn't.
Okay, so that would be more if I had a company and I wanted to really get the nuts and bolts cleaned out.
Or productivity in things like time management. So if you're a mom and you're trying to manage, even if you have a network marketing business, let's say you sell Avon or something like that, and you're really struggling trying to get productive in being a mom and having this business or trying to grow this business or take off this business, that's kind of where this productivity coaching would come in. So yeah, and then
and even with so I have ADD or ADHD, whichever one you want to call it, and finding a time coach. Like I called some psychologists, and it was actually pretty hard to find one, but that would be where this would slot in, right?
Yeah, having somebody just help you systemize your time so that you can see what serves you best and what doesn't, and where you may be wasting time. Because I think we waste a lot of time on things that aren't productive, that aren't serving us, and some of us need to waste that time in order to fulfill our personal development. So maybe you need to watch Game of Thrones every night for an hour, right? Like whatever works for you. But if that hour could be better used to service your goal, then you're going to have to maybe outweigh some of the pros and cons of which is your priority here. Yeah,
half of it.
Yeah, or binge watch it and schedule it in on a Saturday for 4 hours. I don't know, whatever works, right? So the other thing is life coaching, and I know life coaching, most people know what that is. It's quite big in Lethbridge. That is not, being a life coach isn't necessarily my goal. It's just something that's going to fit into all of this because I'm so passionate about personal development. But a life coach is defined as a person who counsels or encourages clients on matters having to do with careers and personal challenges. So just, I guess, how to live life. I don't want to be an expert in that field because I honestly believe that there are some amazing people out there that could coach you on that, but it kind of comes naturally just based on my need to help people. So and then this is the one that's most passionate, most close to my heart, that I'm really striving for, and that's to be an executive coach. So an executive coach is defined as a qualified professional that works with individuals, usually in business, to help them gain self-awareness, clarify their goals, achieve their developmental objectives, unlock their potential, and act as a sounding board. So this is where I like to refer to it kind of as that think therapy. So we're going to kind of work through your feelings and your thoughts, especially those self-limiting beliefs that are holding us back from achieving our goals. So this is kind of where I just naturally want to assist my clients in really figuring out where their pain points are and how we can help solve them or navigate them. And that's where a lot of that referring comes into, and referring people to help them with that team. So it's not necessarily me doing the work, it's me coaching them on how to achieve their desired outcome by putting them in front of the right people. And I've built relationships with these people. So it's important to me that I have a relationship with somebody that has the same values and beliefs as me as far as achieving an outcome for my clients. So that's very important for me.
So have you ever turned a client away if you don't have this?
No, it's really, I should be, and this is something they're going to tell you in coaching, like, you definitely want to find your ideal client, and I just feel like everybody's my ideal client. I want to help everybody, so that has definitely got me into some hot water, and definitely I've worked with people that I want to help so bad, but they're just not coachable, or they're just really stuck in a negative place. And so no matter how much I try to coach them or counsel them or educate them, they just can't get past those negative limiting beliefs. And I honestly think at that point they should probably seek some help from a doctor or a counselor or a therapist to really get down to the root of what's causing them. But I would refer it out again, right? So I just want people to get help. That's it, right? I would never abandon them. I just would really like to just push them in the direction of working up instead of being stuck, right?
Yeah.
So,
or just recognizing, like you said, this is, like, I've done all I can, I've offered you all I can. It's up to you now. That I'm seeing, I'm going to step back or set those great boundaries that you set. And even on that, I think sometimes that is loving someone more.
Yeah, I know. I typically don't turn them down, but I like to try to guide them on maybe a different path that, maybe I'm not able to service them, but somebody else maybe can. So,
well, fair enough. So how do you set goals to keep, did we talk about that?
I don't
business
think so. Kind
and
of.
family life all balanced up?
Yeah. It's all just comes down to time management and making sure you're scheduling your time appropriately so that, when you are engaging with your children, you're not distracted by the phone, or you're not, your husband isn't debriefing his day and telling you all about his day, and you're like, oh, my phone, right? Because that's
so you on your blocks of time, you have those times where your phone is just off?
Yes, absolutely. I honestly only I only go
That
on
might be
my
a
phone.
big
Like,
one.
it's hard. It's something that I've had to practice, and so if my work day is typically from 10 to 3, it's normally from 9 to 3 because the kids ready, I get ready. So it's normally from 9 to 3. That's my work time. Before the day, like when I'm getting the kids ready and stuff, if my phone rings, it can go to voicemail. I don't check my emails or nothing like that. You should actually schedule when you check your emails.
Oh, I did
and you
read
should
that.
touch them once. So yes,
That
this
is
is
it.
so
I heard
valuable.
that. I read that
Touch
too.
it once. So you open it, you read it, reply to it, get it gone. Don't open it, think about it, go back to it 2 hours, think about it again. You're wasting so much time doing that.
Yes. Because then you have to re-find it again.
Yeah. Get it gone. Get it while it's fresh, while you're, and so, and then the other thing is, giving myself some time, and that's been really tricky. A lot of my personal development right now has been around networking and building my business.
Yeah.
So I've kind of mixed the two because I love to socialize, and I am so passionate about putting myself in front of successful people that right now my personal development is just meeting people, like hanging out with you today, right? Right? Going to your event, like reaching out to your event that you were doing, and I've seen this opportunity to meet people I didn't know and to put myself out of my comfort zone, and that was personal development for me, but it was also business development. So it was great, and it worked, and it built a relationship, and it put me in front of all of these people today, right? So, that's great.
Awesome. So if you would like to build a relationship with Chelsea at A-List Assist, you can check her out on her website or on Facebook.
LinkedIn.
And
I'm a big LinkedIner, remember?
LinkedIn, that's right.
LinkedIn's my network.
Those are your peeps.
Yeah. That's where the successful business owners are. So that's where I tend to gravitate and mentor from. So
it's true. I do have a LinkedIn profile. I'm like, social media. I need to.
It works great. Some platforms work great for some people, and other platforms work great for other people. So just find your niche. Find what you're happy doing and where you like to spend your time, right? So
and spend it where it's doing well. And I'm Danielle Low of I Am Eve Events. And I am so glad I had my first event because I would have never met.
I know.
you. And you had a friend that you brought too.
I
which was
did.
kind of fun.
Yes. And she was actually somebody that I had met through the network building. So I seen an opportunity for her to also come and possibly meet some new people and, build these relationships and networks. So
on a totally personal level, tell me one thing that you liked about the event.
About the event, I love vision boards.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the vision board. I loved going through the magazine and sitting, and my girlfriend that I was with was getting married, so it was really fun for her to set goals that way.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I just really enjoyed the vision boards, but I also really loved the speakers, and the one I don't remember her name. I'm so sorry, but
okay.
She was the hippie lady. I don't want to stereotype,
Dr. Shirley
yeah, she was
Steinberg.
my person. Like, I left that event saying that woman connected with me. What she spoke about resonated with me, and if one person can leave an event like that, getting some kind of clarity or something, getting something out of just one interaction, then you've done your job. Like, you did your job that day, because I left there thinking, like, I'm going to research the crap out of this woman because I just loved her story and what she's been through, and and you can find her online. I don't remember her name.
Dr. Shirley Steinberg was
Perfect,
who she was. And
Google her.
And kind of one of those people that we said really successful people are always willing to give back and to help out. She's written books on pedagogy and education, and just is this
She's a natural
dynamic
mentor.
woman who
somebody you'd want to mentor, somebody that you would get a lot of information and experience out of, for sure.
Yeah, and then just crazy fun too.
And the food was really good. That's also important. If you ever do an event, have good food. People love food. The food was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and I was just saying, and maybe you can help me with this. Okay, it's like how when you have a baby, the first one, you're just excited.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, that was fun. And then you're like, oh, that was kind of hurtful. I mean,
that's
physically.
how it works, though, right? Like, you at least got out of your comfort zone and did something and tried something, and I thought it was great, and I think you did an amazing job, and you'll learn from the next one. And acquiring feedback is exactly what you need to do. So
and one of the things that just feedback from myself and from other people that I have talked to was I wanted it to be more interactive. I didn't feel like we made the connections that I wanted to. So number 2 is going to be way more engaging, which you have to release a lot of control to do that.
Yep.
But so be it.
Yeah, I
want
love the opportunity of being thrown outside your comfort zone to like approach somebody you don't know, because I definitely agree with that. You kind of stuck at your table.
Yeah, if they weren't at your table, you really didn't need beyond
have that opportunity. And I definitely wasn't comfortable going, because everybody kind of, like a lot of those women really knew each other, and you could see they had this great camaraderie, and I was like, well, how am I going to break into this? Like, I don't know these people. I don't know their likes or their dislikes or, you know, what their values and beliefs are. So it was a bit of a challenge for me to
tell you the truth, not a lot of those people knew each other.
Oh, like, they sure seemed like it.
There was a few tables, though, that really did, and so that's where I thought, I left my event thinking, I didn't know some of you, and I wanted it to be more engaging.
Yeah, throw us out of our comfort zone. Make us do things that get to know each other, that, hey, we can be like, I had that experience, or, hey, can I talk to you about that? You know, things like that. So
speaking of pain points, I found someone who professionally does organizing and facilitating and making people meet and network and you know, really come from a place of sharing story, because that's kind of what I'm passionate about. But here's the thing. So the second one, it's like the second baby, you're like, okay, I'm already pregnant, like we're going through with this. I'm scared to give birth.
But you talked about that in here, right? You talked in here about, you know, what scares you about reaching your goals. Well, that's your pain point. What's so scary right now about?
I don't know. I think maybe sometimes you just have to say it out loud, because I just found a girlfriend and I said, I need to just tell you this, and she said, like, I'm scared to do number 2. Like, I was terrified. I mean, it's all planned out. The agenda's there, and I said, I'm just not releasing it.
Yeah. Yep.
She's like, just do it. And I think I just needed to share it out loud.
Yep.
You know how Brené Brown says that, like.
We naturally, as human beings, want to engage with your struggle, because we want to relate to something. I want to know that my struggles are your struggles, are your struggles, are your struggles. I don't want to think I'm alone in this. So when you share your struggle, it's almost like a weight is lifted off my shoulders, because I'm like, oh, I feel the same way. Thank goodness this woman is, you know, telling the world she's struggling, and here I am holding it all in. So tell people what, and ask for help. Tell people what you need from them. Delegate, you know, start telling people what you need, how you're going to get your goal, right? So
yeah, well, and I have these little committees organized for the different parts and schedules there. I just think there's just that fear of, it's scary, but it should scare you a little bit.
Oh, totally. Then if it's not scaring you, then you're definitely not pushing hard enough. Again, you got to reread Rachel Hollis's book, because she will touch on that so much on, know, how to feel uncomfortable to get what you want. So, and we don't want to be uncomfortable. Nobody likes to be uncomfortable, right? So,
it's true. Okay. So, when is a time when you had to say no?
Oh, this is a hard one. This is a really good question. So here's the thing. There are 2 different ideals around no. There's the actual term no. So like when my child comes to me and says, Mommy, I want this candy in the grocery store, and I'm like, yeah, no. Right? That's a definite no. But then there's also turning down an opportunity, when I have to say no at an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I believe there's times to say no when it's not serving you well. So if a coworker comes to you and is like, oh man, I partied hard all weekend and I'm so hungover, can you just cover my shift? You want to say no, right? Because your time can be better utilized with your family and stuff like that. Those are the times when you want to say no. Yeah. But if you have this opportunity in front of you, doing something you love so much, but it's hurting the people you love so much, and you have to say no. And I had this experience because I was blessed with the opportunity to work with the nonprofit group Sustainable Farm Families. This program is developed to help rural farmers, mostly Hutterites, in developing healthy lifestyles, both mentally, because they deal with isolation, right? Especially up north. So they have a lot of struggles, and so this program is designed to help them learn about, diseases and mental health and addiction and all these things that when you're isolated and you're part of just this community and you don't have really a lot of outside influence. So I had the opportunity to work for them as a data clerk. So I would collect the data and do all the administration for this program, and we'd travel across Alberta and go on the Hutterite colonies, which is an experience on its own. Oh my goodness, like the things I learned from these people is amazing.
The bread is delicious.
Oh, and just they are great human beings. You just don't have an opportunity to get to know them because you're not on their colony, right? So we spent 2 whole days with them, 8 meals with them, like just amazing. And I really got to know these people, and I loved it. I was helping these people. We were helping these people. I was working with influencers. I was working with highly educated people, people that knew so much in the medical field, people who knew so much about psychology and the mental development of people. And I just threw myself into these people, and I wanted to ask questions. And so I had the best of both worlds. I loved
That's
it.
right. You had the academia, and then
the
you had
social, the everything. It was perfect.
Right into the culture.
Yes, and so I did it the first year, and then I accepted the contract the second year. Come the third year, my children were suffering. My children were not doing well with me being away, especially because I was a stay-at-home working mom who took my children with me everywhere and were involved in my business, and all of a sudden mom wasn't there. I was leaving for 2 or 3 days, and it was a 4-month program where I'd only be home for a few days and then I'd be gone. And so they were really, really struggling, and so I was really having a hard time with that balance. How do I say to my children, this is so important to me and so passionate to me, but how do I say to them that they don't matter? And their development matters, and their feelings matter, and my youngest was suffering separation anxiety so bad that she was getting to the point of nausea. Aww. To the point where I actually thought she had celiac. I honestly thought she was allergic to wheat because she couldn't eat anything, and it all just came down to her not knowing why mom left. And so I had to say no. I had to say that I couldn't help these people anymore because I had to put my first priority first, and that was hard. It was really hard for me, and I left friends, and and I left those people that needed. Now, I was just the data clerk, so those people are still getting service. Like, the nurses are still going and educating, and all those people are still there. But I was a vital part of that team, and it was important, that I was there for them. But I had to turn it down, and I had to say no this year, and I miss it. But I am at peace knowing that my children are my priority, and
Well, and sometimes it is a tricky balance, because there's sometimes where it's okay, like your kids will be okay too, where you did have 2 years where you got to have that beautiful opportunity.
Oh, it's
right?
amazing.
I can hear the passion.
I loved it
as you're talking about it, and I'm sure everyone else can too, because it's there, it's oozing. But there is a time where it's sometimes I say the universe is saying, not yet.
Yeah,
this
your
is not a no for never.
Yeah.
It's just a no for now. And I think sometimes no for nows sometimes you just need to hear that, like, it's just a no for now. Like,
and I knew the program wasn't stopping. Like, I knew that those people were still going to get what they needed. I was I was a little bit selfish in the fact that I was like, I'm not involved in it. I can't take credit for that. I can't be there to watch this amazing thing unfold. But I also have seen a huge improvement in my children. And I love the fact that they rely on me emotionally, physically, mentally, to be there to help them navigate life. And so that was really important to me as well. And I didn't want to be the enabler of that. That mom guilt sets in, right? You don't want to be the one that, down the road is the one that's got your kids in therapy now because your mom left for, I didn't want that. And so, but because I'm a big believer in therapy and stuff, I talking with my kids is key. Talk through your feelings, and so we've really been able to work through that, and they see mom working hard, and that's important for me. So,
well, it is, because it's the balance, right? You want them to be able to do things on their own.
Yep.
And you want them to see mom going out, being successful, enjoying what she's doing, helping others.
I want them to have a job they love.
Yeah.
And it comes down to that purpose in our life. And I know a lot of people believe that your purpose in life is around your ability to help others. Like a lot of studies, or thoughts or whatever around purpose is that we're here on earth to help others. And so I want my children to be able to have a job they love. I don't want them to go to work because they feel like they have to pay the bills, or in the end, the bills aren't going to get you anywhere. You're gonna work your life away and die, right? So I want my children to have a purpose in life to help others while fulfilling their own need to have a purpose-filled life, right? So and they see mom doing that, and I think that's important for them to have that example, right? So
if you're just joining us, we're almost at the
end.
We totally are. This is Chelsea from alistassist.ca, or she's on LinkedIn.
Yes, thank you.
or even Facebook. And thanks, Jess FM, for hosting us. I'm going to just leave you with this question. What's one of the achievements you are the most proud of?
Oh, this one. So, yes, aside from my family, because obviously we're all, you know, when you have children and you have a successful marriage and stuff like that, and you've built that, you're very grateful for that, and you feel like you've achieved that. But, yeah, two of them would be the fact that I took a risk on starting my own business, or that I, you know, got out of my comfort zone to be
kind
like
of a child.
Yeah.
Like it's not as
Right?
neat. Well, no, sometimes it's more needy.
It is sometimes, yeah, right.
But
I took that risk. I made a decision. I chose to stick with it, and I tried it, and it had its ups and downs and challenges. And honestly, my other achievement would be having that opportunity to work with the Sustainable Farm Families program.
Yeah.
That was a huge achievement because I felt so needed in that moment. And I mean, I feel needed every day with my clients, but that just held such a spot in my heart for meeting it's just a different culture, and just the whole experience was amazing. So that was a huge achievement for me to be able to be part of that and build those relationships and connections, and to, you know, really get past your idea of what life on a Hutterite colony is like, right? So that was just another opportunity for me. So,
and often, if you have never been to a Hutterite colony, if you just reach out to them, they'll let you come
They
and
totally
tour.
do.
They're so proud of how everything's organized, how it's all the
they are
labor's
good
divided
people
out.
to learn stuff from as well, because they are workers. They are workers, and they have systems and structure, but they're also human, and they also have the same emotions that we have. So,
and they're amazing singers. Did they sing for you?
They didn't, but I did
Oh.
see the Facebook live video or the YouTube video of the girl on Santa's lap. I met her, actually. I can't remember her name.
Celeb.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. And if you can get them to cook for you, I guess at the farmer's market you can buy some stuff there too. They're amazing. And I love their apple juice.
Oh,
the
oh
fried
man,
chicken.
if you
Or
ever
their-
get an opportunity for them to juice carrots, they have the best carrots, especially up in Grand Prairie. There's something special in their soil.
Well, my people, we are at the time where we need to say goodbye. And I'd like to thank you so much for joining us. I'm Danielle Low of I Am Eve Events. And I'm so glad I had an event because it has brought Chelsea and Twilight from A-List Assist. On LinkedIn, check her out. And we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you. Bye. Are we done?